They are banking on your silence. Stop. The tray table right in front of your face is often 8 times filthier than the flush button in the airplane lavatory. An error of just 2 inches on your suitcase and you lose $75 instantly. Did you get bumped due to overbooking? They might owe you $1,550 in cold, hard cash, not some pathetic, expiring voucher. The system is rigged to take your money and your comfort, but you can fight back. You have 18 rules to navigate this minefield and reclaim your rights. Here is Rule 1 of 18. Rule 1 of 18. 85% of standard 22-inch carry-on bags actually measure 24 inches once you pack them to the brim. Liam, a 25-year-old librarian from Chicago, found this out the hard way at O'Hare. He was flying to a wedding, confident his suitcase was within the limits. Then he saw the line at gate K12. The anxiety kicked in. The gate agent was checking every single bag with a cold, robotic precision that felt more like a shakedown than a safety check. Liam watched as 3 people ahead of him were hit with $75 fees. They are banking on your ignorance. Your bag is a target. Most suitcases expand significantly when full, turning a legal bag into an expensive fine the moment it hits the metal sizer. Here is the fix. Pack only to 80% capacity and use a digital luggage scale to stay under 22 pounds. Don't let the fabric bulge. If you are stopped, stay calm. Speak softly and ask politely if there is any flexibility for a loyal traveler. It often works because agents are looking for a fight, not a conversation. Liam squeezed his bag into the sizer with a bit of effort and avoided the fee. You just saved $75, but that is nothing compared to the danger you face when Rule 2 hits your itinerary. Rule 2 of 18. Empty your carry-on pockets immediately, or you might be one step away from a mid-air disaster. Noah, a 31-year-old chef, was at the boarding gate in Paris, CDG, rushing to catch a flight back to the States. The plane was packed, and the agent forced a gate check because the overhead bins were full. Noah handed his bag over, forgetting the lithium power bank buried deep inside the front pocket. Stop. That is a potential catastrophe. The airline won't tell you this, but lithium batteries are strictly banned from the cargo hold because they represent a fire risk that cannot be easily extinguished. If a battery shorts in the cabin, the crew can use specialized fire bags. In the cargo hold, automated systems can't always reach the source of a thermal runaway. The fix is simple. Treat every gate check like a security screening. Pull out every battery, laptop, and tablet the moment they take your bag. Agents are in such a massive hurry to close the doors that they will frequently forget to ask you. Don't wait for them. The system is rigged for speed, but you are the final safety check. Noah realized his mistake mid-flight and spent hours in a silent, sweating panic. He was lucky nothing happened. You avoided a fire, but that's nothing compared to the psychological pressure when Rule 3, the stress profile escape, hits you. Rule 3 of 18. Oliver, a 44-year-old lawyer, wrestled his heavy carry-on toward the boarding area at Denver, DEN, looking visibly exhausted and flustered. The gate agent didn't see a tired traveler. He saw a high-friction target. Airlines actually train staff to spot anyone struggling with their gear. If your knuckles are white and you are hunched over like you're carrying a lead bar, you are a red flag. They will target you for a forced gate check every single time because they want to clear the boarding area as fast as possible. You lose control of your bag and your time. They are banking on your ignorance of their tactics. Stop. Here is the fix. Before you reach the agent, adjust your posture. Carry your suitcase with one hand, like it weighs only 5 pounds, even if it is closer to 40 pounds. Keep your back straight. If you act like a seasoned pro who travels every week, the agent will instinctively look for an easier target who looks overwhelmed. Confidence is your best shield against the gate check. Oliver tried this on his return flight. He walked with purpose and a light grip. The agent didn't even look up from her screen. His bag stayed in the bin right above his seat. But keeping your carry-on is a small win. What happens when the airline literally kicks you off the flight? That is when the real money is on the table. Rule 4 of 18. Did you know that if an airline kicks you off a flight due to overbooking, they might owe you 4 times your one-way fare in cash? Sophia, a 52-year-old dentist, found this out the hard way at Las Vegas, LAS. She was at gate C24 when the agent announced the flight was overbooked. Sophia volunteered to stay behind, thinking a $50 voucher was a fair trade for a later flight. She spent 6 hours on a cold plastic chair, filled with regret and a mounting headache. Sophia deserved better. Here's the truth they hope you never find out. If you are bumped involuntarily, meaning you didn't volunteer but they told you there's no seat, the airline often owes you real money. Per DOT rules, if they can't get you to your destination within 2 hours of your original arrival time, you are entitled to 400% of your one-way fare. That amount is capped at $1,550. Sophia could have walked away with a check for over $1,000 if she hadn't volunteered so quickly. Stop. If they ask for volunteers, wait. If they force you off, ask for involuntary denied boarding compensation. They profit from your silence. You lose when you don't speak up. Now, this doesn't apply to weather delays, but knowing the 400% rule is your ultimate leverage. Don't be a victim of a cheap voucher. Rule 5 of 18, 180 minutes. That is the legal limit before an airline faces massive federal fines for keeping you trapped on a domestic flight. Ava, a 22-year-old student, sat in seat 22B at Charlotte, CLT. Her flight was stuck on the tarmac due to a technical glitch. Rain lashed the window. 1 hour passed, then 2. The cabin grew hot. Anxiety bubbled as the air turned stale and the recycled oxygen felt thin. Passengers started whispering. They profit while you suffer in silence. The airline won't tell you this, but at the 2-hour mark, they are legally required to provide water and a small snack. Ava checked her phone. It was 2:15 p.m. She didn't scream or make a scene. She pressed the call button and calmly asked for tarmac delay services. DOT rules mandate functional toilets and medical care during these agonizing waits. If the clock hits 3 hours, they must let you off the plane, barring any immediate safety risks. Knowledge is your only power in a cramped metal tube. Safety always comes first, so don't expect a quick exit if there's lightning, but knowing the clock is ticking against their corporate wallet changes the entire dynamic. Ava got her water and stayed calm. But you still need to save your wallet from the luggage trap. Rule 6 of 18. Stop accepting pathetic $50 vouchers for your lost luggage. Airlines bank on your silence to save their bottom line. Most travelers think they're at the mercy of corporate goodwill when a suitcase vanishes into the abyss. They are banking on your ignorance. Henry, a 63-year-old pharmacist, landed at Orlando, MCO. The carousel stopped and his bag, holding expensive medical equipment and professional attire, was gone. The agent offered a $50 flight credit. This is where they screw you over. Henry was furious. They lose your gear and expect you to be grateful for a meal ticket? It's insulting. The fix: know the law. For domestic flights within the U.S., the DOT sets the maximum liability at $3,800. The airline will almost never volunteer this information. File a claim at the airport immediately. Demand a property irregularity report and do not leave without a copy. Itemize every single item in that bag. Keep receipts for any emergency clothes or toiletries you have to buy. They often reimburse reasonable expenses if you provide the proof. It's a reimbursement system, not a jackpot, but Henry recovered $1,800 because he refused that initial insult. Fighting for a bag is a war of paperwork, but the real battle for comfort happens inside the cabin. Rule 7 of 18. When Evelyn, a 38-year-old photographer, stood at a kiosk in Munich, MUC, she stared at the seat map for her 10-hour flight in total dread. The plane looked like a sardine can. She feared being squeezed between two strangers for half a day. Most people just click auto assign and pray for a miracle. Big mistake. The airline won't tell you this, but they bank on your laziness to fill every miserable middle seat. Space is the ultimate luxury. Here is the fix. If you're traveling with a partner, don't book seats 12A and 12B. Instead, grab the window and the aisle, 12A and 12C. This gap strategy significantly increases your odds of an empty middle seat. Solo travelers rarely pick a middle seat unless the plane is completely full. They will skip right over your row. If someone does take it, they will almost always gladly swap that middle seat for your aisle or window so you can sit together. You win either way. Don't be a victim of the default settings. Reality check. This isn't a magic spell. On a packed holiday flight out of Munich, that seat will be taken. But for midweek travel, it's a total game changer. Evelyn tried this and got a whole row to herself. You didn't lose your seat, you won the game. But extra legroom won't help you when the surface in front of you is a petri dish. Rule 8 of 18. Do you know which part of your airplane seat is a literal biohazard? Benjamin, a 47-year-old designer from Rome, thought he was prepared for his flight out of Fiumicino, FCO. As a professional who values clean aesthetics, he usually keeps his space tidy. But halfway across the Atlantic, he rested his head directly on the tray table for a quick nap. Total health gamble. The airline won't tell you this, but study after study shows that your tray table often harbors more bacteria than the flush button in the airplane lavatory. Colony-forming units can reach into the thousands. While cleaning crews do their best during quick turnarounds, tray tables aren't always sanitized between every single flight. It's a plastic petri dish. The fix is simple. Never let your food, your hands, or your face touch that surface without a barrier. Use high-alcohol sanitizing wipes to scrub the entire area the moment you sit down. Benjamin learned to never skip this step. Reality check. Most germs won't land you in the hospital, but with your immune system already stressed by recycled dry air, why take the risk? Small move, big impact. You might stay healthy here, but it won't matter when the dehydration of a long-haul flight hits you. Rule 9 of 18. 60% of your body is water, but a 12-hour flight treats you like a piece of beef jerky. Mia, a 29-year-old marketing specialist, just landed at Houston, IAH, after a grueling haul. She looked like she had just finished a marathon in a desert. Meanwhile, the woman in 4B looked like she just walked out of a high-end spa. Why? The airline won't tell you this, but cabin air is drier than the Sahara, often hovering at just 10% humidity. Mia's skin was tight, her eyes were bloodshot, and her joints ached from the inside out. The fix isn't just chugging a giant bottle of lukewarm water. Most people do that and just hit the tiny bathroom 10 times. Instead, use electrolytes. They help your cells actually hold that moisture rather than just passing it through. Also, ditch the coffee and the mini bottles of wine. They are diuretics that speed up the drying process. A simple saline nasal spray and a thick barrier cream applied mid-flight can prevent that dumpster look upon arrival. It won't make you look like a movie star if you've been in coach for half a day, but you'll feel human. Mia learned the hard way that hydration is a science, but looking like a zombie is nothing compared to the $1,000 mistake you'll make with medical gear. Rule 10 of 18. Pack your medical equipment in its own separate case right now. James, a 55-year-old journalist, stood at the gate in San Diego, SAN, with a backpack, a suitcase, and his CPAP machine case. The gate agent blocked his path. They demanded a $65 fee for the extra bag. James felt a wave of anxiety as the crowd of travelers started to stare and groan at the delay. They are banking on your ignorance of federal law. Stop. Here is the fix. Under Department of Transportation guidelines, medical devices like CPAP machines, breast pumps, or oxygen concentrators do not count toward your baggage limit. You just have to ensure the bag contains only the device and its necessary accessories. Politely look the agent in the eye and say, "This is a medical device, and per federal regulations, it is exempt from the carry-on limit." Major carriers like American or Delta usually back off the second they hear those specific words. It is effectively a legal way to bring a third bag for free. Keep your prescription or a doctor's note inside the case just in case they ask for proof. Agents have discretion, but federal rules usually win. James kept his money and his dignity. Your health flies free. But saving money won't matter if your life-saving meds are frozen in the cargo hold. Rule 11 of 18. Luna, a 41-year-old translator, stood at gate B42 in Copenhagen, CPH, clutching her boarding pass as the final call echoed. The overhead bins were full. A stressed agent pointed at her small roller bag. "You need to gate check this. It's going in the belly of the plane." Luna froze. Inside that bag was her insulin supply. If that bag went under the plane, it would face freezing temperatures that can ruin the protein structure of the medication. Panic hit her hard. Stop. The airline won't tell you this, but medical supplies are protected. Most carriers allow you to keep life-saving meds with you at all times. Never let them leave your sight. If an agent insists, say, "This bag contains essential medical supplies that are temperature sensitive and cannot go in the cargo hold." Often, they will miraculously find a spot in the crew closet. If the bag absolutely must go because of a tiny plane, remove the meds immediately and put them in your pockets. Luna opened her bag, grabbed her kit, and the agent suddenly found space in a side bin. Reality check. Agents are under intense pressure to close doors. Being calm but incredibly clear about your medical needs usually works. Luna made it to her seat safe. But your journey can still be ruined by your shoes. Rule 12 of 18. Would you be able to run for your life in those flip-flops? Most travelers prioritize comfort above all else, but Sebastian, a 33-year-old real estate agent, learned the hard way at Athens, ATH. He was mid-flight when the cabin lights flickered and the oxygen masks dropped during a severe decompression event. As he tried to stand and follow instructions, his foot slipped right out of his loose sandal. He was momentarily helpless in a crisis. The airline won't tell you this, but your footwear is your first line of defense in an emergency. In an evacuation, every single second counts. Flip-flops provide zero traction on slippery emergency slides and zero protection against jagged debris or extreme heat on the tarmac. Use your head. Here is the fix. Wear sturdy, lace-up sneakers during takeoff and landing. These are the most dangerous 11 minutes of any flight. Sebastian made it out when the plane landed safely, but he lost his shoes in the chaos and bruised his feet on metal debris. Realistically, emergencies are rare, but being prepared costs you absolutely nothing. Sneakers save feet. But even the best shoes won't help when the surveillance system changes everything. Rule 13 of 18. 90% of U.S. travelers will be identified by biometric facial scanners by the year 2026. When Harper, a 27-year-old data scientist, arrived at her gate in Madrid, MAD. She saw the glowing blue camera waiting for her. The airline won't tell you this, but your face is becoming a digital commodity. Harper felt the weight of it. She didn't want her biometric signature stored in a third-party database she couldn't control. They are banking on your compliance because it's the path of least resistance. Here is the fix. You have a legal right to opt out of biometric screening at U.S. checkpoints. Look the agent in the eye. Say these exact words. "I would like a manual document verification, please." It takes an extra 60 seconds of your time. At Madrid, Harper stood her ground and handed over her physical passport for a manual check. Most people just walk into the flash of the camera without thinking. Don't be a victim of convenience. Understand this: international laws are a patchwork. While you have rights at home, some foreign hubs might be more insistent. However, in the US, the manual check is your shield. Harper kept her data private and still caught her flight. But privacy is nothing compared to the time you lose at the security line. Rule 14 of 18. Stop digging through your bag like a frantic mole at the security checkpoint. You are wasting precious time and attracting unwanted stares. Take Samuel, a 49-year-old financial advisor. He was in a long line at Minneapolis MSP, frantically unzipping his backpack to pull out his laptop and his liquids. Samuel dropped a glass bottle of expensive cologne, which shattered right in front of the TSA agent. The line behind him groaned in unison. It was peak embarrassment. But here's the kicker. That specific lane was equipped with a modern CT scanner. Many major hubs are upgrading to 3D imaging technology. These machines create a high-resolution 3D image of your bag, meaning you can often leave your liquids and electronics tucked safely inside. Samuel could have avoided the entire mess if he had just looked at the machine first. The system is rigged to reward those who pay attention to the tech. If you see the deep, gray bins associated with CT scanners, keep your gear inside unless told otherwise. Agents still have discretion, but this works most of the time. Efficiency is a choice. You saved 5 minutes at security, but that is nothing compared to the danger of clear air turbulence. Rule 15 of 18. Stella was halfway through her flight from Austin, AUS, enjoying a quiet moment with her book. She's a 36-year-old editor who usually stays buckled up, but the seatbelt sign was off, and the sky looked perfectly clear. Suddenly, the plane felt like it hit a brick wall at 500 miles per hour. Stella watched a laptop fly toward the ceiling like a projectile. The floor vanished for 3 terrifying seconds. Pure chaos. This isn't just bad luck. Severe turbulence incidents have surged by 55% over the last 40 years because warmer air is making the upper atmosphere more unstable. They call it clear air turbulence. You can't see it, and pilots often can't detect it on their radar. There is no warning. The old advice to keep your seatbelt fastened is now a survival rule. Even if the sign is off, stay buckled. Tight. If you're in the aisle and things get bumpy, grab the nearest seat handle immediately. The airline won't tell you this because they don't want to scare you. They are banking on your ignorance. Buckle up. It won't happen every flight, but when it does, that small nylon strap is the only thing keeping you from the ceiling. Stella walked away unhurt because she followed this one simple rule. Rule 16 of 18. Why are you still wasting money on those overpriced, leaky, travel-size bottles? Ezra, a 30-year-old web developer, was beyond frustrated while packing his carry-on in Prague, PRG. He had spent $40 on tiny plastic containers, only for his expensive face wash to explode in his bag during the flight due to pressure changes. A sticky, expensive mess. The 3.4-ounce limit is a relic of the past that only serves to slow you down. Stop. Pros have moved on to solids. Ezra realized the secret isn't finding better bottles, It's removing liquids from the equation entirely. By switching to solid shampoo, conditioner, and toothpaste tabs, he bypassed the liquid bag requirement completely. No more fumbling at security with a Ziploc bag. Most people don't realize that stick sunscreens or solid perfumes don't count toward your liquid limit. They are banking on your ignorance to sell you more travel-sized plastic. Ezra sailed through security at Prague without opening his bag once. This won't work for every single product, but for 90% of your kit, it's a total game changer. Solids are lighter, last longer, and never leak. Sanity saved. But skipping the line is the easy part. Avoiding the blacklist is harder. Rule 17 of 18. 92% of major airlines have a secret blacklist for passengers who use a loophole called skip lagging. When Aurora, a 35-year-old veterinarian, arrived at Baltimore, BWI, on a Monday morning, she felt like she had hacked the system. She paid $150 for a flight to Boston with a layover in New York, even though a direct flight to NYC cost $400. She planned to simply walk out at the layover. The airline won't tell you this, but they track your every move with sophisticated software. Aurora ditched the second leg and saved $250. Then, her return flight was automatically canceled by the airline's computer system. No refund, no mercy. Airlines realize you're gaming the system the second you miss that connection. Here is the fix. If you must do this, never book a round-trip ticket. They will void your entire itinerary the moment you skip a leg. Also, never check a bag, because your 50-pound suitcase will fly to the final destination without you. It is technically legal, but it violates your contract of carriage. Savings now can lead to a lifetime ban later. Don't be a victim of your own cleverness. Rule 18 of 18. Stop treating your personal item like a mere snack drawer. Leo, a 26-year-old graphic designer, learned this at Nashville, BNA. His flight was canceled due to a mechanical issue. His checked suitcase vanished into the airport's massive luggage system, and he was told it couldn't be retrieved until the next day. Leo was stranded for 14 hours, with nothing but a half-eaten bag of chips and a dead phone. The system is rigged against the unprepared. Always pack a full change of clothes, your essential medications, and a universal power adapter in your personal item bag. Most airlines allow personal items around 18 by 14 by 8 inches. Use every inch of that space. Leo didn't have a clean shirt or his glasses case. Don't be like him. Include a high-capacity power bank and an empty, reusable water bottle. Preparation is your only armor in a terminal. While these items take up space, they save your sanity when the schedule falls apart. The airline won't tell you this, but they aren't responsible for your personal comfort during a routine delay. Leo got a $10 meal voucher, but had to sleep in sweat-soaked clothes. Knowing how to pack your personal item is the beginning of winning the travel game. If you don't know these rules, the airport will take your money every single time. The airlines hate that you know these secrets, so hit subscribe to keep winning against the system.